Welcome back to Tom's Garage. What's happening, everybody? Beautiful day. Ain't as cold as it was yesterday. Today, you may ask, what are we working on today? Well, I can't tell you because it's a secret. I'm just kidding. Annual service. John Deere S100. We're gonna go through this thing and give it a full service for the fella. And I'm gonna take you step by step on how I do a full service oil change, sharpen blades, just everything we can think of. So y'all hang with, we're going to get busy. And the first thing I'm gonna do is get this plastic hood off of here. That's my policy, no hoods in the shop. Get this hood off and get it out. Get it outside somewhere. I don't want to get it damaged. If I can figure out how to get it off. Here's a little John Deere. There we go. Get it out of here. Get it out. Woo. We have got ourselves a 17.5 horsepower single cylinder overhead valve Briggs and Stratton. Yep. We're gonna do an oil change and we're gonna just go through it. What I'm gonna do is let it run for just a minute. Well, maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Get the oil warm here. Let it run for a minute, let the oil get warm. It'll flow out faster and it'll capture all the contaminants inside the engine and they'll go out with the oil. All right, let's see, it's pretty warm to the touch because I just pulled it in too. Oh, let's see. Let me take a gander on this side and see what kind of drain plug we got. Or do I need to get the... Oh, yeah, I like that drain plug. Yeah, got a good extension on there, man. And it's not the old plastic one. So I'm going to let it drain right there. Let's go over here and get us a pan. Get us a drain pan. This thing holds about 2 quarts, so I got to get my tall drain pan. See, I like to get this wire out of the way a little bit, but I don't believe we're going to be able to. Give this thing a twist right there, and then pull it off, and there it goes. And what I like to do is loosen this dipstick. That helps it pull in air and flow out a little faster. It sure is draining kind of slow, isn't it? Oh well, we got all day long. We're gonna let it drain. We're gonna let it drain until it's dry. It is pretty dark. Oh, let's see. Next thing I need to do is get this Earl filter off there. Let's go get us another little drain pan. Right here. This might be the first oil change this tractor's ever had. I believe it is. It's only got 76 hours on it. It's only a little over a year old. Let's see if I can get over to here with one hand. Nope, got to get the wrench. Let me go grab the wrench. That thing's pretty tight from the factory. It is right at about 51 degrees in here. Maybe 50, 52, so it ain't cold. I hope that clears that frame and don't get right on that frame. Yeah, there we go. Just gonna make a mess. Just let it drain and do its thing. I'll make a mess already. Making a mess already. This oil filter AM 125424, which is aftermarket. But this is going to be a 492932 oil filler. That's just John Deere's part number. But the 492932 is a Briggs and Stratton part number. So we'll sneak right over here and grab one. All right, well, look at that green. And you can see right here, same flitter. Same flitter. So we're going to let this drain a little bit. Let the engine oil drain. Let it drain just a little bit. I don't know. Bypass valve is kind of high in this one. Well, let me pop some of that oil off of it. Pop some of that oil off of it. Oh, clean your mess up. Gotta get under it. Get under it. I'm gonna, I can measure that, but I ain't going to. I don't have to. And we'll give it a good hand tighten. There we go. That's good enough. Take our little. See, that's why I like these black oil filters, because you can take your white paint pen and it shows up real good. 12 of 23, and this got 76. $76. You can go ahead. And we'll come around here and pull this spook plug out. Ooh, doggy. Little doggy. Looks like it's running kind of rich. That's awful carboned up. To be a newer mower. And we'll go right over here and grab us a RC12YC out of the box. Oh. Just hold it up to the light, make sure that little electrode here hadn't gotten smushed down in shipping. But I can tell by looking at it, it's set pretty good. But what I'll do is I'm going to check it for 30 thousandths. That's right at about 25. Yep, there we go. 30 thousandths. We'll stick her back in. If I can get it started. Don't cross thread the spark plug. I don't like removing spark plugs when the engine is real hot. I don't mind doing it when the engine's warm. Warm my hands on this muffler right here. Oh, that feels good. Run it down till it stops, and you can feel the crush sleeve and just give it just a little bit. You got to feel it. When it crushes, you can feel it truly stop. Give me the click. There you go. All right, now we'll go back over here. While the engine oil is still draining, we'll check the air flitter. Unlock it. Unlock it. Up. Yep, that air filter is in good shape. So what I'll do, just blow it out real good. You want to blow it from inside out at first, and then you can blow it out this way. So that's a good clean air filter there. We don't need to charge the customer for a new one. 590825 is the part number for that. Saving some cash there. We'll put it back in. And I see he's got the good Walboro carburetor. They don't have that old Nicky style carburetor, which is good. But to me, it is running kind of rich, and it's got kind of a little surge to it. So I'm going to change that fuel filter now. Right there. Kind of hard to get to a little bit. Oh, I didn't mean to scream in your ear there. Take the parking brake off. That way we'll get that pedal out of the way. What I'll do is I'm going to unhook it from the fuel pump. That way I can just pull the whole thing out. And that way I can work it a little bit better. A little bit better. Oh, let's see. Am I giving you the hairy elbow again? And just twisty, twisty. I'm gonna get my big screwdriver and just kind of push that fuel line off. I don't want to be yanking on it. See, this fuel pump is just mounted on these little plastic tabs. I don't want to get too crazy with it. There we go. There we go. Now we'll just feed it out through here. Oh, and there it is. Now we can get to the other clamp. Get to the other clamp. Slide that on down. Give it a twisty. And then we'll pull it off. There we go. And then we'll take and pull this off. Uh-oh. Money. Hang on. All right, got a customer on the way. Let's get this fuel filter off of here. Pull that off. Pull that off. Drain the fuel. All right, let's go find him another. Let's go dig him out another fuelie filter. Let's go find him a good one over here somewhere. Let's see, Kohler style. In here, I will give him. Yeah, I'm gonna give him that one. I like a good clear fuel filter. Good clear one. I don't want to put that big gaudy Kohler style on there. This is more of a lower profile here. And you always want to put it this way where you see the fuel coming in. It goes through the screen and out to the engine. If you put it this way, it'll still work, but you won't be able to see any kind of contaminants or how dirty the filter's getting. So let it fill up so you can see it. So let me stick this back on first. All right. All right. Get my pliers in there. It's kind of hard to get to. Okay. Just kind of feed it back through here. Back through here. Up and over there. Back onto the fuel pump. Put the little clamp back on there. Hope my arms ain't in the way. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a zip tie on that because I don't want that thing vibrating against the engine block. Let's see, I'm going to take and just kind of zip tie it. I think I'll zip tie it to the throttle cable. Just to give it some support. There we go. Now that's not going to vibrate too bad. Cut the excess off. Okay. Looks pretty good. Okay, now let's go back around here. Now that has slowed to a very, very slow little drip. So we'll put the cap back on there and give it a twist. Wipe the oil off of it. And try to get this out without dumping it everywhere. Set this oil over there. All right, now we'll pour some Earl back in it. Tell you what, let's go over here and let's pump a little oil into this jug. I got notches on this jug. I got a big old scratch in it right there, and I got a big scratch in it there. That is 2 quarts. So that engine is going to hold almost 2 quarts, I believe. Are y'all watching? All right, let's see that. That is about 2 quarts right there. Now let me grab my little oil pan because that's going to be dribbling oil out of that spout. I try to keep that top of that drum from getting all oily. I'll let it drip in there, and then we'll head back over haul. Okay. Now, move the camera over here so you can see better, so you can see much gooder. Okay, because right now we got, well, just a hair, well, right at 2 quarts. And I'm going to put a whole quart in there and check it. And when it hits the full mark, maybe a little bit more than the full mark, I'll let the engine run for just a 5 or 6 seconds or so. Let it fill up the oil filter, check for leaks, and then we'll check the oil again and add to replace what filled up the oil filter. And well, that's about a quart. All the way down. And it's right on the add mark. Right on the add mark, right there. So let's put some more in it. But I'm pretty sure it's going to hold probably both quarts. Or close to it. All right, that's a quart and a half. That's a quart and a half. Give it just a second to settle, because it's got to get off of that dipstick tube, because if you run this down there, it's just going to cover this dipstick in oil because it's still coated the inside of the tube. So we'll give that a few seconds, and that is just a little over full. So what we'll do is just over the full mark. So let's hold about a quart and a half. That's why you just don't pour it all in, assuming then you'll be wasting oil having to drain it back out. Okay, filter's tight, dipstick tube is in, check the drain plug is tight. Okay, everything looks hunky-dory. We'll set the camera back up, set the parking brake, and crank it up. It will take what is left in this bowl to run long enough to activate that fuel pump to pull more fuel and refill that fuel filter. And no leaks. Now we'll come back over here and check the oil level. Everything looking good. So far so good. Now where's my grease rag? And we'll give this thing just a minute to settle. While I let that oil settle, I'm going to go ahead and grease the axle spindles, grease the wheels on both sides. And on these John Deeres here, you've got one more grease fitting right there where the front axle will pivot. So let's do that. Give it a good greasing. Well, I sure do got oil and stuff all over my camera. All over my GoPro camera. Okay, let me get the old air hose hooked up. I guess we'll start with this wheel right here. Where's the little grease fitting? Way under there. Snap it on. There it goes. You can see it coming out. That little, there's a little hole right there, and when it starts coming out, you know it's full. And on the spindle, you'll see this cap kind of move and kind of fill up. See? And it's coming out down there too. And we'll hit this little fitting right there. Well, that bolt right there is almost in the way. It's kind of hard to tell when this is full because you can't see it good. That's got to be enough. That's not a very big space in there. Oh, let me wipe my grease gun off. Wipe your wipey. You got a big glob of it right there. I'll have that stuff all over me by the time I'm done. All right, we'll do the same thing on this side here. And then you'll see this little cap kind of move when it gets full. There it goes. That's enough. Now we'll stick this front wheel fitting and we'll give it to it. Now it won't give me my grease gun back. There it goes. But that's not the only fittings on this tractor. What I'm gonna eventually do is I'm gonna lower the deck and I'm gonna pull these covers off the pulleys because there's a grease fitting directly back there. That's why they have this opening. But I like to take this off because I got to clean that out. It's full of stuff in there, and on the other side too. But while we're sitting here, let's go ahead and check the oil level. Check the oily level. Raise the camera up so you can see better. Okay. In my shop, if I don't have oil in something, I always leave the dipstick laying out. That tells me it ain't got no oil in it. And that is a perfect level. It's right there on that second little hole. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, next thing. Like I said, we're going to lower the deck all the way. Lower the deck. And lower the camera too. So I am going to pull this cover off. You've got three. Maybe one down here. Yep, there it is. 1, 2, 3 screws holding that in. And I think that looks like about a 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter. Yep. One there. One there. One back here, I don't know if I can get to it with this. We're gonna find out. Well, that's amazing. That's the first time I was ever actually able to get to that one. All right, let's reveal the mess down here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at all that. That could cause a fire. Let's dump this in the trash can. And this way it'll let me look at condition of the belt. Get all this out of there. Oh, let's see, this belt doesn't look too awful bad. Doesn't look too awful bad. Looks pretty good. Get some more of this debris out of there. One more good handful of debris. And that grease fitting is right there. Right there. So we'll get the grease gun back. All right. I'm going to raise the deck back up because I want to be able to see under it to see when the grease starts coming out from on top of the blade. So the way I do it what I'll do is I'll watch real close. The grease will start coming out either on top of the spindle, under the pulley, and you don't want a big glob of grease under there because you're going to get it all over this belt. And I'll stick my head under there and I'll watch. Most of the time it'll come out on top of that blade at the bottom of the spindle. So let's stick the grease to it. It's kind of hard to get on there. Girl, get on there, boy. Wants to fight me. There we go. It snapped on there. Now, when I start pumping it, it'll probably hold about 30 good pumps. Uh-oh. More money. Okay, that was another customer. I'll tell you, even in the wintertime when the weather gets kind of decent, people are out doing yard work. 15, 16. There it goes. There it goes. It's starting to, I don't see any that come out on top of the pulley there, but down here you can see where it started coming out on top of the blade. Right there. You can see where it's starting to squeeze out. So we'll lower the deck back down, put the cover back on it, put the cover back on it. Blade belt looks good. This side is greased. Make sure the belt, I'm gonna engage the blade, that way the belt is tight, because the belt has to go between here. You see how tight the belt runs in here. This is just kind of a belt guide. It holds the belt on there, because when you disengage it, throws all that slack, and that's what holds the belt on from coming off. A lot of times somebody will complain about their belt comes off every time they want to use it, and I look and it's missing the cover. But if it was a tractor with an electric button, you just pull the button up to engage the blades, the belt is always tight, so you may not see a cover on one of those styles. With this one, you've got a big lever. Get the little screw started. Grab my little impact. Whew. Tired already. Hope I can get my impact wrench back in there. I hate to have to do that with a ratchet. And be very careful, man. This is plastic. You will break these things. Careful, careful. All right, that side is done. Let's go look at the other side. Let's go look at the other side. Whew. All right, this one is basically the same way. And this one's gonna have one way back here. I'm gonna have to use the ratchet to get this one out. I think this side may just have one or two screws on this side instead of three. Get some of this debris out of there. Let's see, we've got one screw back there that I don't believe I'll be able to get to with the impact. Yeah, I think I can get it out, but I ain't gonna be able to. Yeah, I'm gonna end up getting this. I'm gonna end up getting that impact wedged. I believe. See if I can get so lucky to get this one off. Now, where is it? There it is. Nope, ain't gonna be able to get my impact in there. Let me grab a ratchet. Grab a ratchet. No, 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 no. Yeah, I can tell he's been using this thing to mulch leaves. Little leaves everywhere, and I've noticed, especially on the John Deere, that when you have a lot of debris on the deck, it will make it rust a lot faster. It'll make the paint flake if you don't keep the deck completely clean and dry. That's just one thing I've learned over the years about John Deere. Their decks will rust a little quicker than other brands, in my opinion. Especially the paint flaking like it does. Gotta wedge that thing out of there. Yeah, just like that. Okay, that belt has absolutely worked its way all the way through that. That's not good. Huh. Shed some of this debris out of there. I feel like I'm exploring a cave. Okay, just get all this stuff off the deck. We're going to clean this tractor too. I don't like cleaning the tractor when it's got all this stuff caked up inside of it, because all that water makes it run all back out and then your tractor looks nasty. Okay, get that grease fit in there. See, when this cover is on there, you've got a notch right here as you get to the grease fitting. But I like to be able to take them off because I want to actually hold that nipple on there. Otherwise, you're way out here trying to do it, and it's just, you're not on good, and all that grease is just pumping out from around the fitting. You'll make a mess of the deck. Okay, let me grab my grease gun again. Okay. I don't know how well you can see that fitting. That fitting is right there. A lot of John Deeres are the same way. So we'll pump this one full, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of look under it like I did over there and see the grease coming out on top of the blade. I don't mind grease coming out under the deck, but I don't want it coming out up here, getting all over the belts and pulleys. That's about 11. Let me look under here and make sure it ain't coming out yet. Yep, there it goes. Yep, there it is. And you can see under there the grease, how it's coming out on top of the blade there. Okay. Now we'll put this cover back on. Put the cover back on. Yeah, that little screw there just kind of stuck to it. That's fine, that's good. You got a wedge it on there. I always have the worst time on this side of the deck on the John Deere trying to get this cover back on, because you got to wedge it between that bracket and the pulley. There you go. You just got to be smarter than it is. Get that screw started. And then we'll get this screw started. Grab your little cratchet. Not too tight. do it as fast on this side. Woo! There it goes. Tight, but not too tight. Okay, now that's that. That'll make you red in the face right there, boy. Whew. Now what I'll do is stand this thing up and get the blades off and sharpen them. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Some of this stuff off here. Put your grease gun up. Take the parking brake off. Raise the deck up. I want this tractor to be able to roll when I pick the front of it up. I do. Put your hose back on there before you trip over it. Roll up your hose, Johnny. Roll up your hose. We'll find a good place to hook it. I don't want to break no plastic. That's a good place right there. Make sure that is bound. Okay, we got it stood up enough to get the blades off. Let's see, let me lower the camera down. All right, let me zip these blades up here. I'll try my best not to get under this tractor like that. Yeah, you can see where the grease has started coming out. I have to wipe that off. Have to wipe it off. Yep, more grease. All right, we'll put a fresh edge on these blades. Alrighty, blades are back on. She's back up in the air. Let's see. Let me go through this thing one more time. We changed the oil filter, spark plug, cleaned the air filter, fuel filter. We greased the front end, greased the spindles, sharpened the blades. Last thing I'm going to do now is level the deck. He asked me to check that because he said when he makes a turn in a particular part of the yard, it will act funny. So this is what I'm going to do. I just reached in here and, well, there's a problem. There's an acorn. So I just turned the blades so I can feel the blade. The very tip of the blade, I'll use my little gauge. Make sure the deck doesn't hit the arm because that'll mess up your measurement. What you want to do is put this right on the tip of the blade. And that says we have got 2 3/4. What I did was I set the deck to 3 inches. A little notch out there says 3 inches. So we got 2 3/4 on that side. Same thing on this side. I set that right on the tip of the blade. Right on the tip of the blade. And that says 3 1/2. And what I did also was I put a level on it. And you can see this left side of the deck is way low. So we'll have to raise the left side, and that should also affect the right side a little bit. So all you do, you've got this little adjuster right there, 15 millimeters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it clockwise, and that should bring this side up. And we'll see what 5 or 6 good turns gives us. Okay, that's 6. That's about 6 1/4 turns. Let's see what that has given us. Okay, now let me push this, and I think I missed the blade. Where did it go? Okay, it's right there on the tip of the blade. And that has given us between 2 3/4 and 3. 2 3/4 and 3. Now let me go over here and see if it affected this side at all. Affected this side at all. Let's see, let me get the camera in here. Yep, it did a little bit. It may have lowered this side a little bit. Let's see if it did. No, it didn't. We're still right at 3 1/2. So we'll go back over here and do some more. Let me check the bubble on the level. It's still way high on the right side and way low on the left side. Okay, let's see. Let me turn it. Let me crank on it some more. That's about 11. That's about 11. Turn her here. Okay, let's see. We're getting closer to 3. Let me do it some more. It's getting kind of hard to keep the socket on it now. The stud is getting longer. Let's see if that's giving us anything else. We are right dead on 3. Let's check this side over here. Check this side over here. And we are, see, it did lower this side a little bit. See, now we're between, we're at about 3 1/4. No, let's see. It's kind of hard to read. 3 1/4. Well, we're just under 3 1/2 now. So what I want to do is raise or lower this side. So we'll go counterclockwise. That's about 12 turns. And let's see. We're still 1 notch under 3.5. Let's see here. I can't get the deck to move. You can see the distance between that. There it goes. It kind of jammed up and didn't want to slide. Let's see what it gives us. We are right at 3 1/4, so let's go a little lower. That was about 12 1/4 turns. Still seems to be jamming on that stud right there. There it is. Make sure it does slide up and down. And we're just a notch, we're an 1/8 inch over 3. And if you're within an 1/8 inch, that is John Deere spec. That's about as close as you're gonna get. Check this one. See if it affected this side. We're right at 3. Let's see, let me check the bubble. It moved a little bit. Okay, that's pretty close, man. If you get it within an 1/8 inch, man, that's pretty good. You don't have to be perfect with that. But the first thing I did, though, is I checked the tire pressure. Always check your tire pressure first. And this, he's got 17 pounds in the front, and he's got 12 pounds in the back, and they're equal on each side. So the tire pressure is absolutely perfect. We're within an 1/8 of an inch, and that is Jonathan Deere's spec right there. That thing is level. That is pretty level. Okay, so what we're going to do now is get the hood on it, drive it around a little bit, and give it a good washing. And that is an annual service. That's how I do an annual service. On the John Deere tractor, this is a S100, and I checked the blade belt looks pretty good. The drive belt looks pretty good. All the grease fittings are greased, the spindles. Whew. And that is that, guys and girls. Thank you for watching the video. I know it was kind of a long one, but I mostly done this video for the customer. I'd like for him to see it and make sure he feels like he's getting his money's worth. He can check my work. And I love you guys and girls. Thanks for watching the video, and we will catch y'all on the next one. Love y'all.